to come out of your boat this time. Now what he did is called a wet exit. If you're doing a wet exit, you don't want to just fall out of your boat. You want to keep your thighs engaged underneath your thigh braces until your boat's completely upside down, and then you release and come out of your boat controlled. So the first thing, TJ, that I'm going to tell you is when you have somebody in the water, I'm not going to rush up as the rescuer to you immediately, because I don't want him to panic, grab hold of my kayak and flip me over, and now we're both swimming and need rescue. So I make sure that he's all right. You're okay? This is the universal symbol that he's okay. So what you're going to do is become ready to be rescued. What did you let go of behind you? He let go of his paddle. As a kayak, you have to be responsible for your gear. So we learn and we teach rescues with your paddle. It's a little cumbersome, but it does the students well in the long run. So what you're going to do first, TJ, is you are going to flip your boat over. So you take one hand on one side of the cockpit combing and the other hand on the other side of the cockpit combing. And you do like a push-pull movement and flip it over. Your paddle, a way to keep your paddle where you have it under control but it's not in the way, don't put it under there. I want you to put it underneath your armpit, the blade. So you can have just the upper blade here and the rest of it sticking out behind you. You have control over the paddle bed. Now what I want you to do is go to the bow of your boat and go to the other side of the bow. Now with your left hand, you're going to put your left hand out because you're going to touch my bow. Now if I'm coming in fast or we're in waves, he can take and move his kayak in front of him to protect himself from us. But otherwise, he can grab the bow of my boat and then he can hand his boat off me. You don't slide it, you just with your left hand, grab the deck line, take your arm out from underneath the boat. Yeah. Now you can walk the deck line if you need to and bring your boat down to me. Deck lines are also considered, or also called static lines. Static lines do not stretch. So that's what we use for rescues. These bungees are what we use for storing gear. So you can go out and walk yourself back down the deck line a little bit. Yep. And you're just going to hang out there with your paddle. So I'm not pulling this boat all the way up to where I'm lifting it. I'm just sliding it up enough where I can put my arm underneath. So it's like at the crook of my elbow. I grab the other deck leg and I empty the boat. Flip it back over, slide it in. I'm going to slide this past, possibly past TJ. And once it's past him, then I'm going to slide it in between and he can grab onto his deck line. Other side. Yep. Now you can let go of my deck line there. And I'm sliding the boat down so that he can walk his hands along this boat. So I'm going to have my arm at basically a right rescuer if they're ready. Because if I don't have a good grip on this boat, I don't want to damage my shoulder by, having to go too soon. So you're going to ask, are you ready? Yep. And what you want to do, you don't want to come up over the seat. You want to come up over the back of the boat with your torso. So you're actually, where you're grabbing on right now, take the deck line a little bit higher up. A little bit higher. Yep. Now you're going to take this hand, see where the deck line is opposite? That's where you're basically reaching for. And with your right arm, you're going to reach over. And once you're able to, you're going to grab a hold of my deck line. Because, yeah, I'm ready. You want to keep the boats together. That's bungee. Yep, so try it. Okay, now pull yourself up. Now once you get your other leg in, I want you to stop. Nope. Lay on your belly. Now bring your left leg in. Hold on to my deck line still. Keep the kayaks together. Put your leg in and stop. Now I want you to roll towards me. When you're, nope, not that way, the other way. Roll towards me because holding on to my kayak is going to keep you stable. Now the important thing is, as the rescuer, I don't let go right away. Because this is the time that people usually capsize again. Plus, most of the time you're a little embarrassed, they capsize, and you just want to get in and paddle and get away. But make sure they get their spray skirt on. If they're wearing spray skirts, take a deep breath, get their paddle back that they never let go of in the first place. And then I ask, are you okay? Are you good? Then I can let them go. This gets much easier the more you practice it, just like anything else. With these techniques, you're not going to exert too much energy because you don't want somebody to tire themselves out so much way to rescue that they can't make it back to shore and then load their boats and all of that. That's why we practice these things in calm, protected water. Now, there are self-rescues in sea kayaking.
Keep going down.
Which he doesn't know this, but I'm going to have him show you a self-rescue. So he's going to learn one. When you're ready, you can capsize and then I will walk you through it. Nice thing is I don't have to do anything for this one. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to hold your paddle again. But what I want you to do is I want you to use the deck lines and move your boat to where the bow is up by your hands. That's the stern back there, the bow is in the front. The reason that I have him use his deck lines to move the boat is because it saves on energy. If you're swimming around your boat, that takes so much more energy than moving the boat around you. Now this is going to be a little difficult because we're in a pool and the pool's shallow. But if he was going to empty this boat by himself, he can kind of do a W with his hands and have that bow sit there. And then take a big breath and push up, which he's going to go underwater, and he's going to do a big scissor kick if it was deep enough. And push that boat straight up.
You go underwater and push it up?
Yep. And, oh, I was hoping that it naturally did it. Did you prevent it from turning?
No.
Okay, so push it up again, and I want you to kind of push it to one way or the other so it flips. Now roll it. It's actually easier to do that in deeper water. Now what I want you to do is find your paddle. Okay? and moving the boat by the deck line, you're gonna go to the stern of the boat. And you can move yourself along since we're in a enclosed pool. Now what I want you to do from here is both your arms are on one side of the kayak, okay? Put your arms over the top of the kayak and let your feet float to the surface of the water behind you. Behind you. So right now they're in front of you. Let them come to the surface, okay? Now what you're gonna do next is you're not gonna push the kayak down. You're going to kind of glide yourself over the top of it. Rotate your torso so that it's over the back of the kayak. And now using those deck lines, you're going to pull yourself up the kayak. Keeping your torso and head down low so that you don't ruin or mess up your center of gravity there. Keep going with your legs spread. So you actually want to pull your butt underneath you a little bit so you're more sitting instead of laying. So let your legs come down to the side on either side of the kayak. A little bit further now. Yep, keep going. Okay, you're going to pull yourself past the seat of the kayak. So you, yep, just like that, keep going. Keep going a little bit further. Hey, now his legs in. You're pretty stable right there, right? Now you can put your legs in one at a time. Again, with practice, this actually becomes pretty easy. You can usually do it in 30 seconds to a minute. So my instructor actually teaches it as a 30-second rescue. And 30 seconds is kind of pushing it. He could probably do it in like 17. But it takes a lot of energy. But the only way that you're going to learn these skills is by swimming. So I like to say that's the stern. So what you're doing right now is moving all the water towards the front of the boat. What you want to do is pick up the bow because that bulkhead right behind the seat is going to prevent that water from moving down into the back of the boat. And it'll all empty out from that cockpit. But I like to say that we're sometimes kayakers, but we're all the time swimmers. If you don't capsize your boat and practice these skills in controlled environments, see, I told you. Look, that's your second time ever doing it, right? And you already got done that much quicker. It was not as difficult that second time around, was it?
I mean, I did that before, but not like it really quick.
Right. Yeah, so what he said is he did it 2 years ago, but it just didn't stick. Right. So, you know, relearning it the second time and then doing it a second time already made him so much quicker and already made it more energy efficient. So practice skills so that when things happen in a real world situation, you already know what to do and you're not trying to figure that out in a potentially dangerous situation.